Hi, it's Future. Welcome to my channel. If you want to see how I make this cowl neck slip dress with spaghetti straps, please stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, and make sure to turn on your notification bell so that each time I upload new videos you get notified. So you will need your basic bodice block to do this. I've got a tutorial on this channel on how you can make one. I'll leave a link in the description below. Make sure to leave yourself enough space at the top for us to make the facing later on. So first, trace around your block as usual, making sure to mark all the dots and the notches. Lift your block, draw in your dot, square in your waistline, square in your underarm line. Now lengthen your dress to your desired length. I'm using 40 centimeters, square across and square down from the hip line. Now I'm outlining my seam allowance for the shoulder seam there, 1.5 centimeters. Square a line up through the dart tip like I'm doing here, up to the shoulder seam. Now coming to this junction, we're going to go up by 7.5 centimeters and put a mark. So it's 7.5 centimeters. Then at the underarm point, we're gonna go up 1 centimeter and in by 1 centimeter to make an adjustment for the sleeveless armhole. Square a line across. So we're going to get rid of our dart. So coming in 3 centimeters from the side seam, put a mark. Join these 2 points with a straight line. And join these 2 points with a curved ruler like I'm doing here. With your curved ruler, correct this point because it's too pointed. Now this part is not in our pattern anymore. Now with your curved ruler, connect these 2 points to form our new armhole. Measure from the shoulder seam to the new armhole point and put that measurement down. It will help us when we come to making straps. So we're going to be cutting through the underarm line and adding 15 centimeters to it. Now drawing in my hem allowance 2 centimeters. As you can see, I've got a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance at the side seam, so I'm just marking 1.5 centimeters there. So cut 2 but not through that 1.5 centimeter seam allowance both ways so that we can be able to pivot our pattern. Get an extra pattern paper and put it under your pattern. Pivot your pattern a bit and just tape everything down like I'm doing here. Now make sure you open about 15 centimeters, so measuring 15 centimeters. Draw a line up to 15 centimeters, put a mark, and we're going to bring our pattern to the 15 centimeter point, and then we're just going to tape everything down like I'm doing here. Continue drawing your straight line. Now square a line up to our armhole point like I'm doing and extend it a little further. Make sure it's squared. Correct the straight line at the underarm there with the waistline. Now adding my seam allowance for the armhole 1 centimeter. I'm gonna be using a red marker to show you how to draw in our facing piece for the front. So just measure 7 centimeters down from our seam allowance and do the same at the center front, 7 centimeters from the line that we just squared. Now cut along the center front line like I'm doing and fold your pattern back along this line. Now with the tracing wheel, we're going to transfer our facing line to the bottom paper like I'm doing here. Next we're going to cut through this line and cut through the rest of the pattern. Open the pattern and cut through, following through the tracing wheel marks that we put there. Now adding our notches to the pattern and putting in my bias grain line. Now labeling the pattern, front dress, cut 1 on fold, and I put my initial. So the center front is going to be on fold. Our front pattern is finished. Now we're moving on to the back. So trace around your block as usual, making sure to mark all the notches and the dot. Lift your block, draw in your dot, square in your waistline, outline your shoulder seam 1.5 centimeters, and square in your underarm line. Now lengthen your dress to your desired length, which is 40 centimeters like we did with the front. Square a line across and square another line down from the hip line like I'm doing here. Adding my hem allowance 2 centimeters. Next, square a line up through the dart tip like we did with the front to the shoulder seam, and adjusting our armhole again, up 1 centimeter and in 1 centimeter. Mark the point and square a line across. Extend your line up to the center back. Now we're going to get rid of the dart like we did with the front, so 3 centimeters in, connect these points with a straight line and connect the waist to the hip line with a curved ruler. Now with your curved ruler, correct this point like I'm doing here. So this part is out of our pattern now. Now adding my seam allowance at the top 1 centimeter. I'm adding a very important notch here for the strap location at the back. Now measure from this point to this point and write it down. That's for our strap length at the back. Mine is 19.5 centimeters. So we've got a center back seam here. Since our pattern is going to be on fold, I'm just going to outline it and take it off my pattern and put my center back on fold. Now adding my grain line on bias, adding my notches on the pattern and labeling the pattern, back dress, cut 1 on fold, and I put my initial. Now I'm drawing in my facing for the back, just 7 centimeters down, and draw a straight line. Next, get a fresh pattern paper, put it under your pattern so we can trace off our facing piece with a tracing wheel, like I'm doing here. Now get your pattern paper out and cut around it, following through the tracing wheel marks that are there. So center back is going to be on fold. Now adding my grain line parallel to the center back and labeling the pattern back facing, cut 1 on fold, plus 1 fusing on fold 2, and I put my initial. I'll put this on the side. Now cut around your main pattern like I'm doing here. And our back pattern pieces are finished. Now we're moving on to making the strap. So you're going to add these 2 amounts for the front and back strap. And this one too. So these are my measurements. They can be different for everybody, so just use your own measurements. So my total strap measurement is 34 centimeters, and I'm basically drawing a rectangle of 34 centimeters by 3 centimeters wide, and labeling the pattern, dress straps, cut 2, and I'm gonna cut them on bias. cut around your pattern. And all our pattern pieces are finished. Now we're moving on to sewing. Moving on to sewing, you need your completed patterns, your fabric, and your cutting tools. So for the fabric, I'm using this beautiful satin fabric. And now we're gonna move on to cutting. All our pattern pieces are cut and ready to sew. So the first thing you're gonna do is to go ahead and interface your back facing piece. Okay, I've done that already for mine to save time, so I'm just gonna put it on the side for now. Now get your front dress, lay it down with the right side facing up. Get your back piece and lay it on top of it, matching your side seams, and pin everything along. Now we're going to take this to the sewing machine and sew from the armhole all the way down to the hemline along the side seams for both sides, and we overlock both sides as well. Let's go and do that. Okay, now so we've sewn and overlocked the side seams for our dress. Next we're going to get our back facing piece, and we're going to go ahead and align it to the side seam of the main dress here. Pin everything down nicely for both sides. Now we're gonna take this to the sewing machine and sew along the side seams for our facing pieces. When we finish that, we're going to go ahead and overlock right around the bottom edge. Okay, right round like that. Let's go and do that. Next, get your two strap pieces, and you're going to fold them back halfway lengthwise like this, and we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew with a 5mm stitching from the edge, 5mm, okay, for both of them. Let's go and do that. So next we're going to take both our strap pieces and we're going to turn them around to the right side. So just grab one end and pin it with a safety pin. Now we're gonna put this safety pin through the strap. Okay, repeat the same to the other one. Okay, so we're gonna put this on the side for now. Now with our dress wrong side facing up like this, we're going to go ahead and locate the notches that we put along the armholes. So get your strap pieces and just align them with those notches and just pin everything down for both sides. Now we're going to go ahead, grab the facing piece, and we're just going to turn everything down at the notches, matching our armholes, and we're just going to pin everything down nicely. Now we'll get our facing piece. Our back facing is gonna go inside the dress. Match your side seams and match everywhere else and just pin along the whole way. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead to the sewing machine and we're going to sew with our regular sewing stitch from the fold line all the way around to the notches for our strap at the back here. Leave a 5mm gap and continue sewing. Leave another 5mm gap on the other notch for the next strap at the back, and then finish off at the fold line at the front here. Okay, let's go and do that. Okay, now so this is how it looks from the inside. We went ahead and sewn from the fold line and the armhole here all the way round to the back, left a gap for our strap here at the back, and finished off sewing and left another gap here, and then we went all the way up to the fold line again. Okay, so next grab your facing piece for the back, flip it over to the right side like this. Now grab the other ends of your strap pieces and we're going to push them through the holes that we left here. Okay, align it with the edge of the seam and just pin it down. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this to the sewing machine, and we're just going to finish off this gap that we left, at the same time sewing the strap down for both sides. Okay, for both your straps. When we finish that, we're going to go ahead and understitch the whole seam. So just flip your facing piece on top of the seam allowance like this, and we're just going to go ahead and understitch the whole way until we get to the other armhole. Okay, and whilst we're there, we're just going to go ahead and finish off our dress at the hem here. We're just going to go and do a double turn hem at 1 centimeter. Okay, let's go and do that. Okay, now so we finished sewing our dress, and I also finished understitching the whole way round, as you can see, and we also finished the hemline, and our dress is finished, and I'm happy with the result. Thank you.